This episode brought to you by AnimeCourtyard.com. For gaming news, anime, and much more, go to www.animecourtyard.com. Welcome to another episode of The Game Machine. This is your host, Adam. This review takes place between dream and reality. Between a PewDiePie video and perhaps maybe a video of a guy surfing on... I don't know what you watch. Anyway, not important. Today, we are going to take a look at a game called Persona 4 Arena Ultimax on the PlayStation 3. This also can be purchased or acquired through the Xbox 360. I'm here with my co-host Teddy, who will help guide us through the journey. Isn't that right, Teddy? Splendid. So, allow us to traverse through the door of this review, as the game machine starts now. Why don't you ever talk to me anymore? Persona 4 Arena Ultimax takes place right after the events of the first Persona 4 Arena. Literally, just a few days after the other game. The crew has just solved the case, and you think they would just be able to go back, chill, relax, and hang out together, right? No. This is a video game. That would be pretty dull. Now, this whole deep red fog has invaded the sleepy little town of Inaba, and the fighting tournament of the last game is back once again. But this time, you'll be running the shadow versions of yourselves. And this tournament has a new antagonist that will make so many puns, you'll want to punish him in the face.
Now that I've shown you the way here, it's time for a showdown with Show. Get it? Bullshit! That ain't funny!
I really like the story and how it's told in this game. Like the last game, it is a visual novel style with minimal fighting, but instead of picking characters, you actually go through the story depending on which version. So there is a Persona 4 version, which features mainly the Persona 4 cast. Then there is a Persona 3 side of the story as well. There is an option to even let the game play itself if you so choose to, so if you just want to sit back, relax, have yourself a nice bag of chips, you can do that. Now, I will say, this does give some backstory for the original Arena, but not the original Persona 4. So, this mode is really mainly for the fans of the Persona games, and the story is a continuation of those games. With that said, if you've never played Persona 4, if you've never finished Persona 4, what the heck's wrong with you? Go back and play that right now. But without that back knowledge, I don't feel that this mode is going to be really enjoyable for anybody that doesn't already know or already care about the characters and cast, because that's what makes these games so fantastic, is the characters. So, without that, and you've not played the original Persona 4, then you definitely won't get much out of this mode.
Fight to the limits of your souls!
Much like the original Persona 4 Arena, Ultimax is here to put one hell of a show. Arc System Works is back with their trademark 2D anime style, and it looks so slick in this game. Everything down to the character designs, the stages, the menus, and more are also animated, and they have such great detail. Some of the characters and stages are returning from the original, but there's also, of course, a lot of new stages with some twists to them. For example, some of the stages take on a style from Persona 3's Dark Hour, which, just imagine the world in more of a weird, twisted, dark, abstract kind of way. And of course, you know, super moves are always going to be flashy, but even like some normal combos and normal special moves still look freaking fantastic. And I do love the English voice cast. I feel like they do an amazing job. And that is especially great since there is a story mode, and if you're going to be listening to that story mode for a long period of time, well, a terrible voice is not going to be something you want to hear. The music is a great mix of all kinds of different tunes, from the original Persona 3, Persona 4, some remixes, and some stuff coming back from Arena, and of course new tracks. While some of it may not fit a fighting game, it's really great fan service. And it's a good enough excuse to pummel someone's face while listening to the Junes store theme. Because every beat down's great at your Junes. Hey Teddy, want to hear a good joke? Why is Ryu suing Headless? Because Persona 4 Arena Ultimax has Show, You, and Ken. Get it? Show, You, Ken? The Street Fighter move? Why aren't you laughing?
Round 2. Fight!
Persona! Persona!
While most fighters are pretty basic with their content, there are a few exceptions out there, and Ultimax does not skimp on features, characters, modes, or anything for that matter. You have 19 playable characters from the start. You have 3 DLC characters, 2 of which are going to be free for the first week of release, so you can download Adachi and Marie before October 7th, so do it right now. For show! That's also not counting some of the characters having shadow variations. That's right, you can play the evil, the true self, the shadow self. Besides the shadow versions looking all really creepy, especially Shadow Kanji. Shadows do have some features that stand out compared to their normal counterparts. For example, some Shadow characters have certain moves that are tweaked a little bit differently. They also do less damage, and they do have a health buff. But one of the biggest features of these is that they have something called Shadow Frenzy. So instead of having the burst technique, which is a basically, hey, get off of me, move to get your enemies back away from you, this actually allows you to use unlimited meter for a short period of time. So if you want to spam a bunch of super ultra moves, go right ahead. As long as that drains down you still in Shadow Frenzy, you can do it. Also, on top of that too, when you finish a battle with the Shadow character and you go to the next round, any meter you have left over will carry over. There are some advantages to using the Shadow characters, but they're also very risky. They're definitely the kind that are supposed to be more aggressive, more in your face, but at the same time, though, it's a very risk-reward kind of system. And the majority of the cast, I feel for the most part, feels pretty balanced. And the roster, when it adds some new characters, oh boy, they are very unique. Like Junpei, for example, who's now a baseball player. His moves are based off of, well, baseball. He has a baseball diamond and other type stuff, and he beats things with a bat, and there's like a special move where he can carry somebody off and swing him with a bat and knock him out like a baseball. It's kind of cool. Also, we have Ken and Koromaru, the young boy and his dog tag team. Ken uses a spear to pretty much stab his opponents, and he can use Koromaru to attack, but what also makes Koromaru special is because he can summon Cerberus, the Hellhound! Yes, that's right, a dog that can summon Cerberus. Makes Ren 1010 look like he's neutered. That's all I have to say on that one. While rebalanced and new characters are what we come to expect in any fighting game sequel, there are plenty of modes here. You have the basic modes such as Arcade, Versus mode, so on. One of the coolest new ones is Golden Arena mode. This takes 2D fighting mixed with a little bit of RPG elements. You will pick a character and a social link. You and your social link will rank up through the game by fighting a gauntlet of enemies and an occasional boss battle, all the while leveling up. And you also gain points after each battle. You'll use those to learn new skills, you'll use that to beef up your stats, and your social link will also level up with you, giving you more abilities. Now, the abilities you and your social links can learn will give you certain properties, like, for example, you can use one to heal during battle, or maybe even handicap your opponent. It's actually kind of a really cool take on survival mode, which I think is really awesome. I never thought you could really do anything much with survival mode, but they actually took it here and ran with a new idea. It was kind of cool. And of course, what would a fighting game be without online? Online matches are usually very good, even with some of the worst connections out there, and you will occasionally run into laggy matches. There have been a few times when I went into some player lobbies or been invited by friends and I keep not getting connected. I've checked my router settings, I've restarted my PlayStation a few times, my friends have reset it. I don't know why. Hopefully maybe this will be a fix and a patch, but for some reason I have had issues with connecting, which I didn't really have that many in the last one, so maybe that was just an issue on mine. But for the most part though, it was really enjoyable and I could get into most matches just fine. So of course you have the traditional ranked and player matches, but one of the coolest new ones, which is actually based off of BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma, and since Arc System Works is working on this game, it kind of makes sense that they would add this in here. So they have this special lobby system where you would go into a room filled of 48 players, and you actually can run around and pick a little arcade machine to sit at and play with these said players. So you can actually go and have matches and fight with other people, which is just really fantastic. And I love that idea because that way you can actually almost relive the arcade days where you go up and challenge somebody to a machine, except you don't have to put in a quarter. You just have to pay $60 for the game one time, and then you get much more stuff than that. It's great. The only disappointing fact about this feature is that it was cut from the 360 version, and it may most likely due to be technical limitations, which kind of stinks, but after I had the Japanese PS3 version, it was 13 gig file, I could see them not being able to cram that on the DVD, so I could see why the feature was cut, which kind of stinks. Makes me wish they could at least add it as free DLC for the 360 version. This game is fantastic. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is a great sequel that improves on the quality of what made the original Arena awesome. On top of that, I forgot to even mention that special moves feel so much better in this game. There were times that I tried certain combos in the original Arena that did not work out, but then when I tried them in this, they work better. It seems like the combat's just much more refined, and on top of that too, it's accessible for people who aren't that great at fighting games, but of course there's a lot here to master for those that are pro. So I feel like that this game definitely needs to be played, whether you're a Persona fan or not. So, if you love Persona, if you love fighting games, you better not miss it! Huh? Really good? Well anyways, thank you for watching the show, I hope you guys enjoyed it, until next time, game on! Ah, gosh, that's too many puns. I think I need a drink.
Things are heating up! Tonight, who will win the title of champion? Who will be crowned with the winner's wreath? Whose tale of glory will resound for generations? All that remains are the dreams of the warriors. As the Grand Prix plunges into its final chapter, the P1 climax is barely getting started!